Hi, this is George with Foam Flies. Today we're going to be tying a Royal Wulff. Okay, so what I have here is I actually have a size 14 nymphing hook. I've got some red yarn, some white cowtail, I've got some brown deer hair, and some brown hackle. So what we're going to do first is when we're tying this fly, we want to be real careful of how we're balancing everything and putting everything in place where it goes, because it's easy to overcrowd the eye, to have too much of one thing and not enough of the other. One of the other things we also need here, and I don't want to forget, it's the most important one, is I've got some ostrich. So I'm going to pick out two nice pieces of this. So back what I was saying, we don't want to overcrowd the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tie in some, I'm using white thread. You can use black thread, whatever color thread you like or you want the head to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to tie it in a third. So I'm breaking this hook for this fly. I'm just going to break it up into thirds. So I'm going to go about a third way down the shaft, tie it in a little bit. Right up to the eye, and then I'm going to go back about a third of the way there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit, this is for the wing, a little bit of cowtail. Okay, you don't want to do too much. Now to get the right amount on the size, you don't want to make this wing too big or too small. You're going about this farthest tip, about the length of the shaft. So I'm going right about there, and I'm going to hold it over. Again, loose wrap, pull tight, keep material on top. I'm going to go back, keeping the material on top. I'm going to get right to the third of the way down where I was with the thread and tie it in right there. I'm going to trim it off. Okay. Trying to keep all the material on top. Take the wing, stretch the wing back and dam up underneath it so it sticks straight up. There we go. I'm going to thread it back, and I'm only going a little bit past the gap. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of deer hair for the tail. Again, you don't need a lot of it. We're going to stack this. So I'm going to put this in the stacker. Okay, now we're going back through our thirds again. Go along there. Okay, and to give you an idea, it's roughly, the tail is only going to be about as far as the gap in the hook. So we're going to get that nice and close and right on top. And we'll make sure that's right. And that'll work. Okay, now when we cut this material off, I'm going to pull this back. We want to cut this material off, so we're going to end this material right where we ended the wing, the cow hair. Okay, we don't want it to overlap. And that's how we're going to tie in the body. Okay, I'm not going to do too much threading in here because we're going to be filling in a lot of this with the ostrich. So I'm going to come off about halfway, and I'm going to take 2 pieces of ostrich. Now I'm not taking them from the ends. I don't want it to be thin. I don't want it to be too thick. I'm taking it from the middle. Bring them together. Go to where about they even out and they're nice, which is get right about here. I'm going to tie these in. Go all the way back to the tail. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go about 1/3 up from there, and I'm just going to do a couple nice wraps. Usually it's about 3 or 4. Being real careful of the hook. Keep track of how many you're doing, so you know on the other side you're going to do about the same. So in this case we'll do 4. Okay, I'm going to wrap back to it. Catch that ostrich. Catch that ostrich. Okay, now what I like to do is I'm going to take the ostrich and just hold it along the fly. Just kind of tie it in a little bit. Because I'm going to use the piece down here once I get the red in. Okay, so I'm going to go to the center. Okay, I'm going to take some red thread. It's actually red yarn. Keep it nice and tight. Pick the yarn up. So I get it past this. Drop it right there. Tie it once. I'm going to tie it in. Till I get to the ostrich. Then I'm going to go back past it. I'm going to pull this nice and tight. And this I'm going to do it just as wide as the ostrich, and that's it. So you want this to be the same width as the ostrich, and you want the next part to be the same width as that. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy, make my ostrich back, take it back just a little bit and do a wrap so it catches the red right there. And I'm going to go forward. Same thing here. I'm going to do about 4 wraps. And there we go. So let's tie this in. And if you've done it right, you're pretty much going to have that wing here. This wing is going to be centered in what's left. So I'm going to pull this to the top. I'm going to slip this off. Okay, so I'm going to find a nice brown feather and something a little even. Okay, come here to the tip. Pull it back a little bit so I can tie it in. Okay, I'm going to lay the hook on its side. I'm going to tie this feather in nice. I'm going to tie it in so when I wrap this, that's going this way. I'm going to tie that in and nice loose wrap. Let's get that feather out of the way. There we go. And nice when we work on the head a little bit. And we're going to take this back to the ostrich. And we're going to go back again. Right to where the head is. Now we're going to trim this off. Be careful. Okay. Oops. Okay, I'm going to grab this with my hackle pliers. Try and do about 2 or 3 wraps before the wing. And try not to overlap. Right through here. The next wrap I'm going to come underneath. Get the thread going over here. And we're going to go underneath and we're going to go in front of the feather or in front of the cowtail. You have to pull it back a little bit. You're going to do about 2 wraps. Then you're going to tie that in. Oops. Go ahead and take that off. There you go. Now I want to take it all back and do the head. Gonna flip finish it. All right. Add a little head cement. Head cement in there, make sure you don't get any in the eye. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take it now, dress it up a little bit. This is George of Fun with Flies. Telling you to have a good day, and when it comes to tying flies, just have a good time. Don't take this too serious. The fish don't.